Well, happy Friday, everyone. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the 4, where I go over 48's top stories before our 4 p.m. newscast. We do a live stream on Facebook Live, we do one on YouTube Live, and we do one on the 48 live stream page. Just head on over to our website, WAFF.com, or download the 48 digital app, and you can find it. But anyway, I want to wish you all a happy Friday. We are this close to the weekend. We are definitely getting there. If you're watching right now, you're watching on Facebook right now, you can leave a comment if you would like. Do you have anything fun planned this weekend? That is what I want to know. What are you doing this weekend? And there's quite a bit to do this weekend, which we will get into that in a little while. But first, let's talk about some of 48's top stories before we do so. And of course, starting things off, attorney and judge Patrick Caver, he gave an important speech this morning at Cook's Museum in Decatur. Now, the speech was regarding sextortion after we've seen several recent reports of sextortion in the area. Now, 48's Daquan Lee attended this meeting, and he will have updates for you all coming up right at 4. And now, staying in Decatur, we spoke today with Catrella Perkins, and who you see on screen right now, that is Joe Renshaw. Catrella is obviously the wife of the late Steve Perkins, who was shot and killed by Decatur police in September of last year. This upcoming Monday, Decatur Police Lieutenant Joe Renshaw will retire with full benefits. And of course, that's who you see on screen there. Renshaw was the officer who was accused of harassing multiple people on social media regarding the shooting death of Perkins. Catrella lays out what she thinks of Renshaw's retirement coming up in just a few minutes. And now in DeKalb County, we are learning more about a woman who was killed in Collinsville Monday. DeKalb County coroner has identified Christy Gladden Hancock as the woman murdered. And of course, Christy is who you see on screen there. Now, this is the story where on Tuesday, sheriffs responded to a home on County Road 221 about an unresponsive woman. When they arrived on scene, she was found dead with a gunshot wound. A man who was later identified as James Howard Jr. was found shortly after, and he was taken to the DeKalb County Detention Center without bond. The family of Hancock has recently started a GoFundMe page to help raise money for her funeral cost expenses. You can donate to the GoFundMe if you feel led by scanning this QR code you see right here on screen. And staying in the Sand Mountain region, 48 Savannah Sap will be bringing you all the story on a home repair scam in Marshall County. Timothy Harbin was recently arrested after multiple sources say he took their money and never finished the job. Savannah has been speaking today with victims as they share their stories regarding Harbin. So make sure you stay tuned to our evening newscast for the latest on this story. And in national news, well, I'm sure you're all aware at this point, the first presidential debate between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump happened last night. Now, Gray TV DC Bureau Molly Martinez has 3 things you need to know following last night's debate. Let's take a listen.
Donald Trump takes a victory lap and a Democratic Party potentially in peril. Here's what you need to know.
The total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Joe Biden came out of the gate stumbling Thursday, showing concern about his fitness for office. Several Democrats have called on the party to prop up another candidate in his stead, but the Biden campaign confirmed Thursday he will not be stepping down. This could lay the groundwork for an intra-party rift at the convention in August. Number 2, Trump's falsehoods. The former president benefited from the lack of fact-checking by moderators, doling out dozens of half-truths and full-out lies. He falsely claimed Democrats support post-birth abortion and that under his leadership, the U.S. had the safest border in history, also adding that he had the highest rating among veterans of all time. all of those claims are factually false. Finally, number 3, what happens now? Both candidates are back on the campaign trail, with Donald Trump expecting to name a vice presidential pick in the upcoming days. In Washington, I'm Molly Martinez.
Thanks, Molly. Was certainly a very interesting debate. Now let's head on down to Guntersville, where the annual HydroFest is returning this weekend. 48 Savannah Sapp, along with 48's Cam Durr, were both at a street party yesterday in Guntersville, previewing this really cool event. First, let's take a listen to Savannah.
The 5th annual HydroFest on Lake Guntersville is this weekend. The fast-paced boat race is one of the most anticipated events for the city each year, and Mayor Lee Dollar says it brings in thousands of tourism dollars.
We love having all the visitors from all over. It fills up our hotels, our Airbnbs, our VRBOs, all the housing that we have in Guntersville gets filled up, our restaurants.
She also says the publicity of the race is great for the growth of the city, as tourists can often become permanent residents.
Sometimes they'll come back. People that have never been to Guntersville don't realize what Guntersville and all of North Alabama has to offer. So I think it's a great showcase for all of us, and we welcome them.
The 2024 event is expected to be a hot one, with temperatures in the high 90s. While officials want all those attending to enjoy the festivities, EMA Director Blake Farmer says the heat can become dangerous. He says his office, as well as Guntersville Fire and Rescue, will be on standby for any heat-related illness.
We're looking for people that maybe are not acting normal, or anybody that's maybe pale looking, sweating or not sweating for the most part.
Farmer says cooling stations will be spread throughout the event, and the National Weather Service will be monitoring any severe storms throughout the weekend.
We're just trying to make sure that everybody stays as safe as possible in the venue, and like I said, please hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Very true. Make sure you are staying hydrated if you're going to HydroFest this weekend. But thank you, Savannah. Now let's take a listen to Cam, who brings you even more of those really cool speedboats. Let's listen.
Carl, we kick off HydroFest weekend on land here at the street party at City Harbor here along Lake Guntersville. But all the action will happen in the water, as the fastest boats in the game will take to the fastest track in the south.
Just to see them like this, it's really cool.
Coming to Lake Guntersville this weekend, the season opener to the H1 Unlimited boat racing season. As people from all over will flock to catch this extreme yet unique sporting event of the summer.
There's really nothing else I can compare it to, because you're flying over the water, hopefully doing about 150 mile an hour, 155 mile an hour. It's actually pretty calm and peaceful when the boat's running right.
But even with the main event being the race itself, featuring boats that fly across the water at speeds upwards of 200 miles per hour, those in attendance this weekend will create memories that will last a lifetime.
3 years ago, my daughter and I came up to the boat races, and Donna was sitting next to us. And that's where I met Donna, and we've been seeing each other ever since.
So street party today, qualifying and time trials will happen over the next 2 days. And by Sunday, a HydroFest champion will be crowned. Reporting from Lake Guntersville, Cam Durr, 48 Sports, on your side.
Certainly excited to see it. And a few days ago, I got to speak with City Harbor owner. His name was Patrick Lawler. And let's listen to how much this event and the city means to him. Patrick, being from Guntersville, how much pride do you personally take in this annual event and just the town of Guntersville in general?
Well, Guntersville is an absolutely beautiful place. I moved away when I got out of school. I went to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I did development out there. Had an automobile business also, and I've moved back here. I've been here 2 years now, but I've been developing stuff here probably the last 7 or 8 years. And just been blown away by the opportunity that North Alabama has, and very, very cool to, like I said, to be my hometown and to have the opportunity to do the stuff that we're doing here. And the boat race is another layer, and it's just the whole thing has just been tremendous.
Very cool place. Now, in case you missed it, Two police officers, one in Boaz and the other in North Cortland, were recently arrested on domestic violence charges. 48's Matthew King has the latest on this story.
Two separate officers, two separate domestic violence arrests. One from North Cortland Police, another from Boaz Police.
We're down two officers right now. We're just like everybody else. We're looking to hire.
Boaz Police Chief Mike Turner's feeling the effects of his officer Carson Hicks's arrest. Court documents say he shoved a victim to the ground earlier this month. He's since been placed on leave, which is standard procedure following an arrest. Despite this, Turner says his team is up to the task.
We're manning it pretty good. A lot of our guys they're just working overtime. They're working a lot of overtime. The Boaz Police Department's going to carry on just fine, and we're going to move forward and see this thing through the court process and just see how it comes in the outcome.
Mark Whalen was also arrested for domestic violence. Court documents say he threw a phone at his pregnant victim.
Police departments have a responsibility to really have a zero tolerance policy. I know I did when I was chief.
Former police chief Cecil Moses says these arrests put a major strain on smaller departments.
One or two being out can really cause a problem. It's a real hardship on the department. It puts the community at risk also.
He says a small percent of domestic abusers are officers, but the numbers are still concerning.
It's about 1% of the overall, and that's pretty much typical of all professions, just that you can't afford to have even one in the police department.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Now let's listen to a cancer survivor's story as she is urging more access to early screening and detection.
Kimberly Alexander is no stranger to cancer. 9 years ago, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. Her parents lost their lives to the same disease.
My parents, who also died from lung cancer, could possibly still be here. They could have been screened earlier and could have found the cancer earlier and had better outcomes.
While she is a survivor, she believes much of the treatment that she goes through now could have been avoided if she had access to early detection. She uses her own story when advocating for the Nancy Garner-Sewell Medicare Multi-Cancer Early Detection Screen Coverage Act.
And that's really a special opportunity in traditionally underserved communities and for, to kind of help with the disparity in cancer diagnoses.
The screening test uses blood or urine to check for multiple cancers at once. The bill would ensure Medicare enrollees have access to the early detection.
Early detection, better outcomes, and that's what this bill would do for a lot of people, especially those who are on Medicare and who would benefit that way.
While sharing her story in D.C., Alexander hopes it will save lives from cancer.
We just had a wonderful time, and it was great seeing Representative Sewell again, and great having her to mention me while she was speaking on the floor. And I just would love to see this bill just go all the way.
Yes, indeed. And I know some of you who are watching right now, you are fans of Southern rock music. And speaking of which, I see Roberta Smart commented on Before the Four. Roberta, hello, how are you doing today? Thank you for commenting. But anyway, back to my point. Some of you watching right now are big fans of Southern rock music. And tonight, Atlanta Rhythm Section is coming to the VBC's Mars Music Hall. And yesterday, I got the chance to speak with ARS band member. His name was Mr. Dave Anderson. He is the lead guitarist for the band, and he's actually going to be singing tonight. A little fun fact, he's also a Huntsville native and has been called Huntsville's greatest rock musician of all time. Let's listen to how much this Huntsville show means to him. What are you most excited about tomorrow, whether it's a song that you're going to be performing, whether it's just being on stage in front of your hometown? What are you most excited about?
Just being on stage with so many friends there, because growing up as long as I have here, I have so many friends and I know so many people that that I've heard from that are going to be at the show, and part of me feels pressure from it, but the other part makes me feel like it's a welcoming crowd. So I really hope to be able to see people and make eye contact and be able to enjoy that moment, seeing all those friends.
Such a great interview. He was such a down-to-earth guy. I could talk to him for hours, I swear. It was a very fun conversation, and I was super excited to get the chance to speak with Huntsville's greatest rock star of all time yesterday. So that was a real treat. And he also shared so many incredible stories, but you can watch that full 48 Now interview on our website at WAFF.com. Just go to the digital show section and then finally 48 Now. Well, as I mentioned earlier, it is Friday, and you all know what that means. It's time for the good side. Let's listen to an absolute incredible never quit story of one man who completely turned his life around.
Goodwill Assistant Manager Tevin Clark has his hands in just about
everything. Count the money, count the safe, get everything ready. Then I price goods to come in, get the truck ready, shipping and receiving.
It's safe to say Tevin runs this place. You'll likely see him if you visit the East Broadway Goodwill, but if you had stopped by just 6 months ago, it's likely you would have seen Tevin on the outside.
I was homeless and I was up and down the streets every day.
In 2023, Tevin relapsed. His addiction cost him his job, his family, and his home. But everything changed one day 6 months ago. Tevin was outside a homeless shelter when a Goodwill van pulled up next to him. The person inside offered him $50 for just a few hours' work.
I really just thought it was $50 a day, for real, and then it changed my life, actually.
Tevin was picked up as part of the Another Way program. A Goodwill van travels to highly trafficked areas of the city, such as homeless shelters, highways, byways, and street corners, and offers homeless folks some work in exchange for a stipend, resources, and a chance to get back on their feet. Louisville's Freedom Hall is one of the places that you'll see the program in action, and Supervisor Stefan Golston helping out. He too has had a difficult life, but turned it around with Another Way.
It's right there in 301. That's where we all started. It was a group of 6 individuals.
Now the program brings in 30, even 40 folks a day.
Because it's hope, and it's not a false hope. It's a heart that is willing to help, true help. We're not enabling, we're empowering. We're making them believe again when they're broken.
You got your rag? Okay then.
One of the people holding on to that hope is 26-year-old father of 3, Theondrick Gunn.
I just want to be a chef for real. I like cooking. I like cooking a lot. So my granny taught me how to cook and bake. So yeah, that's my things I want to do in life.
This is his 3rd time using the Another Way program.
Every time I walk in, I'm smiling, I'm happy, no matter what I'm going through. I ain't even thinking about that. I'm coming here.
Tevin worked his way up through the program to get his assistant manager title, and in a full circle moment, he's now helping recruit for the program.
He is our success story, and he is an awesome individual.
$50 may not sound like much these days, but for Tevin and the others who have passed through this program, it's just enough to find another way.
Once I was hopeless, helpless, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm none of that. I'm back.
In Louisville, Ward Jealous, Wave News.
Such an incredible story there, and that just goes to show you never lose hope and never quit. But an amazing story to cap off this week, this Friday. Now let's head into stories you're just not going to want to miss. Huntsville Utilities on the recent water main breaks, a new retail project in Muscle Shoals, and an incredible story on a restaurant owner who surprised one employee with a new car. And speaking of stories you're just not going to want to miss, I just noticed a comment. Peggy Roden, she said she cannot wait to see the Tim Harbin story. He conned so many, including me. Peggy, I'm super sorry that happened to you. 48 Savannah Sap will have this story in our evening newscast coming up. But thank you so much for commenting, Peggy. Now it is time for Facebook Fun. And if you don't know what Facebook Fun is, this is where we ask a question every single day on our Facebook page. And the questions vary. We have a different question every day. We typically try to ask it around noon, but let's see what today's Facebook question was. What is your favorite comfort meal? My favorite comfort meal, I gotta go with burritos. I am a big burrito guy. I think that is my favorite food, but I also like hot dogs, I like hamburgers, I like it all. If it's food, I'm typically eating it. There's not a whole lot that I do not like. But let's see what you all like. What is your comfort food? Boyce Jones said tacos. You cannot go wrong with tacos. It is what I am tacoing about. And that was not good. Forget I just said that. But let's see who else commented. Mona said mashed potatoes and gravy, 100%. I used to eat mashed potatoes for breakfast growing up. Cannot go wrong with mashed potatoes and gravy. Thank you for commenting. Alicia said candy bars. Well, of course, cannot go wrong with a good candy bar. Alicia, I wonder what your favorite candy bar is. Is it the Hershey chocolate bar? Is it Reese's Cups? Is it, yeah, what's your favorite candy bar? But thank you for commenting. Very good comfort food there. Mariah said chicken and dumplings. Yes, especially on a really cold day outside. Nothing like going inside and warming up to some chicken and dumplings. Thank you so much for commenting. And Gloria said chicken pot pie with extra chicken. 100%. I'm the kind of guy, I like my chicken pot pie without the pot pie and just the chicken. I am a poultry lover. I love me some chicken. But that is just about all the time I have in today's Before the Four. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, no matter what it is you decide to do. Maybe you're going down to HydroFest, maybe you're going to the Atlanta Rhythm Section concert. But whatever it is you're doing, make sure you have an amazing time doing it. But with that said, that is just about all the time I have. I hope you all have a good evening, and of course, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good night.